Okay, question number 3 is very powerful on understanding the value of your partner and understanding the value of people in your life, and also a big PowerPoint that I love to teach: evidence collecting. We all do it. We're about to unpack it. Let's read into the question and the topic though. So, you, Emma, said that my wife has options and could be with anyone. I have a feeling, and this is going to sound harsh, that I don't value my wife enough. And this is a fundamental problem in our relationship. That I could honestly say that she could be with someone else. At the moment, it's more like she's ultra dependent on me in many relationships. I notice things far too often every day in life that don't fit, where I think it would be better with others, and my focus on that too much, that we don't fit. If I want a relationship to work, I need to really cultivate love and focus on things that make us a great couple. When I think about what I liked about in the beginning, it's hard because I was just a teenager and just wanted to be loved and be with anyone. Now I'm more reflective, so I notice things where it doesn't fit. And that leads to the next point. I think sometimes I sabotage the relationship myself because I don't want it to work. At least a part of me does. I'm not all in yet. It's almost like I'm looking for proof that it can't work. Super powerful topic. The first thing that I want to give to you as a tool, a lot of Tantra basically focuses on understanding life and death and honoring both. Honoring the fact that death is an ascension to a new life, and that it creates new life here on earth. And there's something powerful about letting your ego die. Very often in our masculine and men, we get this ego. There's this ego that forms where it's like, yeah, I'm the man, so like she needs me and she's lucky to have me and all these things. And something I want you to drop in for yourself is to stop and take a moment to imagine that you die tomorrow. You leave the planet. Start to visualize and see what actually happens when you go. I hate to break it to you, but life's going to carry on. And I kind of want you to give yourself that ego death to actually see how it happens. I also used to have this perception a lot when I was younger, like the world and everyone revolves around me and everyone needs me and I'm this super powerful, super like amazing person, which of course I am. And life is a certain way, and I got hit with real deaths. My sister died, my mom died, my best friend died, my client died, all within 12 months. My client who I was living with. So it was like everything fell apart, all my homes, the world. But what I realized through all of those deaths was how life carried on. And it was a really fucking weird portal that I went through for a couple of years, because I was in such denial that I was allowed to be happy again, that life gets to be good again, that all these things. I also went through a breakup from a guy who I dated for 8 years, which was like a divorce at that time for me. And I was just shocked. I was like, no, life couldn't possibly be good again. And what I can say now, it's been 4 or 5 years since all of the deaths and my whole life wrapped, is the curiosity and the fascination that life really does carry on. And with God in higher consciousness, it's this and something better. Meaning that if you die, if your relationship dies, if that person is willing to lean into faith and you're willing to lean into faith, it is this and something better. They're going to receive something better for them. Whether that's a new partner that awakens them, whether that's a whole new lease on life, whether that's a whole shift in their trajectory, whether that's birthing a whole new business, their life is going to get better, because that's how God wants us to be. And it's very interesting, but even on someone's deathbed, I remember with my mom, she was very, very, very possessive of my dad. They were really close, 30-year marriage. And on her deathbed, she prayed her last prayer. And what she prayed for is that my dad meets someone new, that he has her blessing. And my dad was shocked. He was like, no. But on the deathbed, what we realize is we truly do want something better for our partner, for our lives, for those who we leave behind. And God wants that too, and they want that too. And so Give yourself the space to go through an ego death where you see that you die tomorrow. See what happens with business, with your wife, with your partner, with your kids, with your family. Just have an observation. There's going to be a time of grief and mourning. There's going to be a time where people pick themselves up. There's going to be a time where they find something or someone new and expansive, because that's how life works. And it's safe for us to explore that in the mind because it humbles you. It humbles your ego. It humbles you to realize that yes, you're important, but you're not the be all and end all. Yes, you are fucking significant, but you're not the only one. Yes, you might think that she could never do better than you, but you actually have no idea. And once you get your ego into a place of being checked, where you're like, okay, yeah, if I went, fingers held, life would get really great for her, and your family and your world. Now you come to the realization in your present reality that you are the man, that you are the one she's chosen, that you are the one that's providing, that's showing up, that's healing, that's creating these experiences. Who do you want to be there? That's where the man basically gets to switch from the like, oh, I'm looking for things to not work out so I can play out my ego and I can feel safe and I can see that she needs me and now I'm in the power role, so I'm going to push it away and sabotage it and recreate it because it's so fun to feel needed, to feel like you're the man, to feel it in your head like you're the one. But the reality is yes, you're the one by grace, by choice, by love. And life happens fast. And that's where you can say, hey, at the moment I am the one, but life has a whole different ballgame. And so what we get to do is take this present moment and say, how all in can I go? Because this could be the last day. Who knows what happens, whether someone dies or there's an ego death or there's a whole life change. But right now, you have a successful partnership. You have someone who's devoted and committed their life or this season of their life with you. And with that, you have an opportunity to be the man of the dream, for your dream, for their dream, for your life. And that's where you stop looking for all the things that can go wrong. And you start to say, hey, let me anchor into my cock. Let me anchor into my vision. Let me anchor into this woman who's chosen me and be that fucking man. And this leads me to my second point, which is evidence collecting. We're all always evidence collecting. We are evidence collectors. We are forming ideas in our mind. We are perceiving them. And what we believe, we perceive, and we receive. So if we have a belief that my partner is not good enough, my partner couldn't do better than me, my partner and I don't fit properly, my partner and I don't work, that's a belief that you have inside you. You're going to start perceiving it and you're going to evidence collect. Every little thing is going to add up. The extraordinary healing modality of a perception shift is not that the experience changes, but your experience of the experience. I'm going to repeat that because that is what fucking changed my life back in the day when all I could see was the worst. And then I switched it to seeing the best and my life did this huge upward spiral. When you have a perspective shift, it's not that the experience changes, but your experience of the experience. Now, when you're evidence collecting to compound your belief system in your perspective that things aren't working, you're going to believe and receive that. My recommendation is you take up a hobby and a practice for your own self-expansion, for your own intimacy and enjoyment, for your own empowerment and truth, to begin to evidence collect in your mind for all the reasons your relationship works. Because trust me, no one is fucking perfect. In fact, if you want someone to choose you, you don't want to have 100% of a match. You don't want someone who 100% matches you because then they didn't make a choice. It's fully in. You want someone who 49% matches what you want them to be. Because then that 1% is always down to the fact that they had integrity and authenticity of choice. You don't want the perfect partner. You want someone who actually has 1% more power. That gives them the choice for you. And in that time, you spend your life looking for all the reasons why they are perfect for you. Every trigger that they bring up dude, that's something that they're showing inside you. They're a mirror for you to heal. Every insecurity they show you in a container of love where you're committed is a place where you get to deepen into your own self-acceptance. So when you start to evidence collect, you look at all the things that are bad, but you start to see how that's actually something you can be fucking grateful for. The way that they make you feel out of control in your morning routine, this is me, for example, was the exact perfect way for me to see how I had the power to choose and navigate my own life without asking someone permission all the time. It gave me power, although it triggered me a lot and it caused arguments and fear. It brought me to a place where I was like, I'm so grateful. I could have evidence collected and been like, dude, like me and my partner are not meant for each other. We don't have the same routines. He eats differently to me. He does all these things. But I started to evidence collect that everything that he was doing that triggered me was helping me heal and empower myself. And I started to see everything else that he did that I was grateful for. This is where you get to switch your perception. Your experience, you're married, you're in a partnership, it stays the same. Your experience of that experience is going to fundamentally change when you choose that firstly, you're not the one and only. So you have that little ego death and you get into your perspective. Secondly, it's well worth going all in at that point. And the way that you get to go all in is by doing the exact same thing you are currently doing, but with a positive perception. So you're still going to be evidence collecting every day, but this time you're choosing to upward spiral it. A, for your partner, because it's amazing to be seen in love, but most importantly, for you, to enjoy your life, to enjoy all the goodness, to see how you're healing and growing and expanding in the shit and the light, to see how this person has chosen you and given you that space, to see how you're choosing them, to see what's coming up. You evidence collect to expand and grow through unconditional love. And so that's something for you to reflect in on and practice and choose and see what comes up for you. But I guarantee the minute you let your ego die a little bit and you humble yourself and you then start to choose to go all in and evidence collect for what's working in your life, in your relationship, your experience of your human experience is going to have a massive upward spiral.